Paul Foster-Bell.
E te mana whakawātuarua Māori ora. Sir, I find myself in the awkward and somewhat extraordinary position of agreeing largely with what the member who's just resumed his seat has said. He's a member who is often sadly mistaken in this House, but on this particular occasion, every point that he has made has been, I think, a very sound one and a good one. And it is actually somewhat unfortunate that when we heard the speech from the Honourable David Parker, who is an assiduous and hard-working member of this House, on the last occasion that we were dealing with this bill, that he seemed to agree with, as does Mr O'Rourke, 90% of the content of the bill, and for some reason has allowed the perfect to become the enemy of the very good, which I believe this bill is. So there are a number of very sensible and pragmatic measures which improve upon the current legislation. I do want to agree with what Eugenie Sage said. The current legislation, the 1987 Pools Fencing Act, is a very good piece of law. It did save the lives of many, many children in New Zealand. This bill goes further and brings in some sensible measures to further enhance that. For instance, it deals with the lack of clarity around doors, interior doors, which open into courtyards in which there are fenced pools. Currently, there is a lack of clarity around whether those doors have to be self-closing and self-latching. They will now have to be self-latching or alarmed. We must make use of new technology that is available to us to ensure children's lives are protected. It also clarifies that it is an object of this bill that serious injury, and we know brain damage that can ensue from drowning is a real problem. We've heard from submitters that approximately 200 children over the course of the last 30 years have been saved from serious brain injury from drowning because of the previous Act. We want to make sure that we make use of the technology and systems available to us in this modern world to continue that going forward. I also think it's very sensible that we have a standardised regime of inspection, 3 yearly. Given some councils don't inspect at all throughout New Zealand, there will be a number of councils that do have to lift their game, but allowing it to be outsourced to suitably skilled tradespeople hopefully will enable this to be done in a cost-effective way and create a system which is high in quality and gives consumers choice as well as protecting children's lives. This is a good bill, sir, and it must pass.